Imagine living in a world where the laws of nature bend to the bizarre, where bananas rain from the sky and jellyfish power an entire city. Sound like a scene from a quirky science fiction film? Well, these are the exact kinds of ridiculous yet fascinating questions that fuel our curiosity about the world around us. Today, we're going to explore two of the most outrageous hypothetical scenarios you've ever heard, and who knows, maybe we'll uncover some surprising truths along the way. First up, let's dive into a completely outrageous question. What if jellyfish could power an entire city like Tokyo? Powering Tokyo with jellyfish. The energy crisis, a reality check. Tokyo, one of the largest and most energy-hungry cities on Earth, consumes approximately 280 terawatt-hours of electricity every year. To put this into perspective, that's more energy than 20 countries combined. The challenge: could we generate this much energy from an unlikely source, jellyfish? At first, this might sound like a quirky thought experiment, but jellyfish are actually fascinating creatures. Some species, like the Aquaria victoria, have bioluminescent properties. In theory, could their glowing capabilities be harnessed to generate power? Well, not quite. While the idea of using jellyfish as an energy source seems charming, the actual potential is not quite enough. The jellyfish experiment. Here's where things get interesting. One idea proposed is that jellyfish could be used in conjunction with piezoelectric materials. Piezoelectricity is a phenomenon where certain materials generate an electric charge when subjected to pressure. In theory, by harnessing the movement of jellyfish tentacles, we could generate electricity. However, after running the numbers, we find that even with millions of jellyfish, the amount of energy produced would be minuscule, barely enough to power a single laptop for a few weeks. The dream of a jellyfish-powered Tokyo remains just that, a dream. It turns out, we'd need 29 billion jellyfish, and even then, we'd barely scratch the surface of Tokyo's energy needs. The bigger picture: jellyfish versus renewable energy. But let's not be too quick to dismiss the jellyfish. While they may not be powering Tokyo anytime soon, this scenario does highlight something important: the potential for renewable energy. Piezoelectric technology, though not quite a solution for powering cities, is still an exciting area of research. This kind of creativity pushes the boundaries of what we consider possible and encourages us to think about energy in entirely new ways. Imagine using the movements of the ocean to generate power. Sounds far-fetched, but it could one day be a reality. Bananas raining from the sky. The banana apocalypse. Now, let's turn to a question that's even more outrageous. What if it rained bananas instead of water for an entire day? Sounds like a scene straight out of a comedy, right? But what if we took the time to think about what might actually happen in such an event? Let's break it down. In a typical rainstorm, millions of droplets fall over a single square meter. Now, let's imagine that each drop is replaced by a banana. That's right. Every raindrop is now a banana. And suddenly, we're dealing with trillions of bananas falling from the sky. We calculate that the total weight of the bananas that would fall globally is approximately 1.33 trillion tons. That's a staggering amount. In fact, it would rain 11.1 quadrillion bananas in just one day. Can you even begin to comprehend that much fruit? The immediate consequences. At first, it might sound like a joke, but let's take a moment to consider the actual consequences. The sheer velocity of bananas falling from 3,000 meters, around the height of an average rain cloud, would create a catastrophic impact. A single banana, falling at that speed, would hit the ground with the same force as a bowling ball dropped from a 50-meter building. Now imagine the devastation of 11.1 quadrillion bananas pelting the earth. Cities would be buried under layers of mashed banana, infrastructure would collapse, and people would have to seek shelter from the banana blitz. What started as a bizarre thought experiment quickly spirals into a full-blown disaster. The environmental fallout. But wait, it gets worse. As the bananas rot, they release an enormous amount of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. The amount of methane released from the rotting banana mush would be equivalent to 280 times the planet's current annual emissions, potentially causing a spike in global temperatures and triggering mass extinction events. Ecosystems, which already struggle with climate change, would be pushed to the brink. A lesson in ecosystem fragility. While it's easy to laugh at the idea of bananas raining from the sky, This scenario is a stark reminder of how fragile our ecosystems are. Even the smallest change in the balance of nature can lead to catastrophic results. Whether it's the rise of a new species or a shift in the global climate, our planet's delicate systems are easily disrupted. The takeaway. So, what have we learned today? First, we've discovered that jellyfish, while fascinating, are not likely to power Tokyo anytime soon. At least not unless we come up with some incredibly creative new technologies. And as for bananas raining from the sky, well, let's just say it would be a disaster on a biblical scale. Not the fun tropical storm we might imagine. But beyond the fun of these outrageous thought experiments, there's a deeper lesson. Our world is full of unexpected possibilities and challenges. Whether we're exploring new energy sources or grappling with the impact of climate change, we must remain curious, creative, and vigilant. The universe is vast, and the questions we ask today may shape the world of tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through impossible scenarios. Remember, no question is too strange. Sometimes, the craziest ideas can spark the most important discoveries. Keep asking, keep learning, and who knows? Maybe next time, we'll uncover a real-world solution that's even stranger than bananas falling from the sky.